Joey Arnold, what did you think about Upload? Well, after watching all 2 seasons of the show, I thought it was very captivating. It's one of my favorite shows now. I mean, I don't know, one of my favorite in the last week at least. I mean, like I was captivated by the main actress who was the main angel in the show, and the show is about a man and he ends up dying and he gets uploaded, and it's really interesting how they put him into the cloud, the matrix. They put him in a room and he's not even dead yet, and he was in some kind of car accident that was not an accident. I mean, it was planned by the old man who was in X-File. He was the Smoky Man is in this, and from the X-Files, and he's probably the one that got him killed. And so, I mean, he wasn't killed, but he was almost killed, and he was in a smart car. And talk about smart cars. And so he's being drugged away, and his girlfriend wants him to be in the cloud, wants him to be there so that he could live forever, immortal, a transhuman, because the transhumanism is a great thing, they say. And they put him in a room and they blow his head up like two pieces, like right in front of them, right in front of the girlfriend and the mother. It was really shocking, but also kind of funny. But obviously, I mean, I would say that wouldn't be the best way to do it. You'd probably want to just like extract the brain and then do it. To suck up the brain, put that into the cloud, put that into the computer. Try to analyze that, because you don't want to analyze the dead skin on top of the head and the hair and everything else. Doesn't really have memories in it that can be turned into an artificial human. And who knows what happens to the soul after you die? Are you still there? There's a lot of questions that you can have when you're watching a show like this. And there's a lot of other things, and I mean, a lot of other shows out there, and a lot of things you can wonder about, and it just makes you wonder. And I was captivated by the relationship that was being developed between a young man around 28 years old. And this is around 2000 and like, I don't know, 28 or 34, or a few years into the future, and she's falling in love with the dead man, and he's falling in love with her, and in the end, they're able to come back. He's able to come back because his crazy girlfriend was printing out a body for him, and he was able to come out and then get away, and then they're on a train, and then his nose starts to bleed, similar to the other guy who was downloaded, and his head exploded. Hopefully he won't explode too, and then they end it, and we don't know if there's going to be a third season or not. But I really enjoyed watching the series, and I'm a sucker for these kinds of shows. And let me rock in my rocking chair right now, if that isn't apparent what I'm doing right now. But I'll tell you what, I don't even know if there's audio delay or something. There probably is, but that happens in life. You're going to have delay, and you're going to have problems, and you're going to have to rock to the beat of whatever you're given in life, whether it's a rocking chair, and whether there's a delay or not, you go with it in life. And you got to go with it in life, and sometimes people kill you. Sometimes the Smoky Man finds you, and he comes back after so many years of being a top criminal man with secret UFO alien things, and in the X-Files, and talking to aliens and everything, and are they real? I don't know, but he's there, and he's like, doing all these things, and he has all this money. And you thought he died at the end of the X-Files, and then he comes back when they they brought the X-Files back for like season 10 and 11 in the 2010s, and now he's back again in this show. And I was also, I was thinking, this is what I do, think a lot. And I was thinking, imagine a show that combined all of these things. Imagine if you had a show that was like Dark Mirror. Well, Dark Mirror is not a good example because that kind of goes in between. I mean, I guess that would be the example in a way, except they don't do it all at once. They do it one episode at a time. One episode's about one thing. The next episode might be about a different thing. So Dark Mirror or Black Mirror, I think, what is it called? Black Mirror. It goes all over the place, and I like it. I like Rick and Morty. They go all over the place in cartoon form, and it would be really cool to have a show that goes all over the place. I mean, I guess that's why we liked Star Trek: The Next Generation. They were all over the place in a lot of ways, in a lot of regard, and it wasn't just about drama for drama's sake. It had a lot of intellectual stuff going on. It's something that makes people like me want more, because we want to think through these things. We want to see a Picard, Captain Picard, not a Picard, not a pecan, not a petarded Ricard or Ricky Ricardo from I Love Lucy, who can't figure anything out, who can only be demented and yelled at. We want somebody who's on the top of his game in life. And I would love to have a show that combines like a bunch of things, and like imagine a show that has like Upload, but also kind of has aspects of Dollhouse, and then aspects of what's the other shows, like Brave New World, that has to do with some of that stuff. And there's so many different science fiction shows and movies out there that deals with these ideas of like whether it's something to do with on the line of like your body and your mind, and robots and aliens, and maybe not aliens so much, but because then you'd get into the realm of Battlestar Galactica, and now we're getting all over the place. But I mean, this, like, there's a comparison to be made between Upload and Dollhouse in that, or maybe I'm thinking of another show. Yeah, there's another show that I like to watch that I should talk about. I'm kind of mixing up my comparisons now. They're all the same to me in some ways, and not in other ways. And that's how my mind works. And let me say, like, I was thinking about Dollhouse had to deal with they had these people, and they were like slaves in a way, and a company had these servants called dolls, and the people could go and pay for these people to do whatever they wanted with these people, like slaves kind of thing. I want to go hang out. I want that doll right there to go hang out with me, pretend to be my boyfriend or girlfriend, and then comes back, and then they take out the memory of all that, and they have it in these hard drives, and and like you become like a slave in a way, but you're kind of paid, or they only do that to criminals. I guess they're the only ones that would be forced to do it, because it's like they want to get out of jail, so they agree to doing this for like 5 years, and then they can get out. And imagine I don't know, I'm trying to make a comparison with that and another show or other shows, because I see similarities here, and I guess I didn't think all this through. Maybe I should have, but I'm thinking on the spot. I'm thinking on the fly, like Marty McFly. That's why I love the reference, because I'm into that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself that there was another show that has to do with something really similar, and that show would be Severance. So Severance has to do with you work at an office building, and when you go there, you don't know who you are when you're not at work, because you have a computer chip in your brain that turns on, and then you are totally compartmentalized. And it's just like Dollhouse, because when the doll in Dollhouse would go and do a service for the customer, the doll would not know that the doll was somebody else outside of that work. And so it was Severance, but 20 years ago, and directed and probably written by Joss Whedon. And I got into it, and I was introduced to it, and I'm thankful to be introduced to that. And it was incredible. And so Severance is a show kind of like that, except the people aren't going all over the place doing services for customers. Instead, they're doing services just for a big giant corporation that's like everywhere, and they have people working for them for like decades now. This is probably in the future or in a parallel timeline, and it's incredible how well the show is done. Like, it's well done and it's interesting. And imagine if you had a show that kind of put all these aspects of all these ideas and put it all in one, where like you have like a company that's doing the severance thing, and you have people who go to work, and when you agree to go work for Severance, then they put the computer chip in your brain, and then you can't remember anything about your outie, what you do outside of work. And then when you're outside of work, you don't know what you did in work, and so it's like you become two people. And the same thing with the people in Dollhouse. They're the same thing. And imagine you have these people, and you have like two companies, and you have the Dollhouse company, and they're doing this, and then you have the Severance company, and they're doing this at the same time in the same universe in the same show. And then you have another company who's like, oh, hey guys, let's when you die, we're gonna upload you to the cloud. And then you're thinking, like, you have a guy. Imagine you have one guy, and he's like, on the weekend I work for Dollhouse, and then on the weekdays I work for Severance. And so it's like I'm kind of like three people. And then when I go to upload my mind to the cloud, am I gonna be one person? Am I gonna get reunited with all my past lives? And we're not even gonna talk about nirvana. I mean, not nirvana, reincarnation. But imagine what happens when you upload three divided minds, if you actually did that, or if you had a bunch of different companies that would do it. How many times can you split your mind? And do you need a separate computer chip for every single time, or can they just press a button to separate your mind again and again and again, so that there's like different compartments in your brain? How many times can you do it? And then when you die and you're getting uploaded to the cloud, will you be united? If you are united, are you gonna be able to handle it? And is it gonna be put in chronological order, or some kind of other order? Imagine a show that could combine all of these ideas. Would it be too much to handle? Is my thing. That's what I want to know. I don't know, but I'm getting all over the place. Um, I'm I'm feeling like I really want to know. I want to know. I think it's really cool, but also terrifying because it's like, do you really want to get sucked into the Matrix? Do you want to become a fat Albert inside? Wow. One of my favorite movies is Wall-E. I think it's kind of cool, and seeing the fat people up in the cloud, they're way above the clouds in the spaceship, and the president said, I don't want to survive. I want to live. I don't want, I don't want. I want to do more than live. I want to survive, and there's a beauty to that, and I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's a wonderful thing to really live. And I'm not against like living forever necessarily, but artificially, there's a problem with trying to just be totally GMO or totally artificial, in that you are missing out on life when you try to live forever. You actually miss out on life, which is ironic because you you're living longer, or you're trying to live longer, but you're actually living less, which is the weird thing, and it's kind of hard to explain. But it's like you got to be authentic to be worth it, and to have something that's really good. The quality is what matters more than the quantity, and it's not that a longer life can't be better, but it's like if you're totally more machine than not, then you're totally lost. If you're more robotic like Darth Vader, then you're losing the opportunity to really connect if there's nothing left there. And some people can come back, and there's a lot of redemption that can happen, especially as seen in another good show, DMZ. There's redemption, and it's good to see those story arcs, and I want to see that in the media I consume and in the people around me.